My colleagues will be bringing forward a motion on June 26 to have me removed as the head of the Pickering Safety and Wellbeing Advisory Committee for two reasons. One, because I did not attend a ceremony which is not mandatory in my role as City Councillor. And two, as a form of punishment, because although I can see what everyone else sees, I also have the ability to think differently, which may or may not follow my colleagues' opinions. I want to make myself very clear. I represent all people fairly, honestly, and equally, not just the ones I've been told I must represent because of their need to virtue signal, nor will I play into any kind of political posturing. As for the removal from the committee, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. When leaders do not want to make the hard decisions, they form committees. It is easier to blame a decision on a nameless, faceless committee than it is to take responsibility for that decision as being your own. It has become apparent by my 6-to-1 voting patterns on council that I have critical thinking skills necessary to oppose views by asking questions. When I have unanswered questions, if I think the wording is too vague, or if I think it is not inclusive of all, or if I believe that the passing of an agenda item has a potential to put people's lives at risk or in danger, I will not vote in favor. For example, in a 6-1 vote, I voted against Hope's Cradle, in which I had many unanswered questions that not only can put the baby's life at risk, but also parental rights. In a 6-1 vote, I voted against the Ontario Big City Mayors because I had over 20 unanswered questions, and I am not in favor of putting our mentally ill or homeless in a position of being coerced into medical assisted dying in the near future. In a 6-1 vote, I voted against City Centre after finding out that we did not have the capability of attending another fire event with the high-rise protocols that we have in place, leaving Pickering residents vulnerable and dependent on fire services from abutting municipalities. Another 6-1 vote was against the vague wording of our nuisance bylaw, which opens up the potential risk of anyone in public spaces the ability to control you and the ability to trample on your rights and freedoms for how they feel. In a 6-1 vote, I voted against the city being compelled to participate in Pride Month, which is not inclusive of all. Geoengineering, another 6-1 vote. My colleagues did not feel there was a need to find out what kinds of ingredients are in the aerosols they are spraying in the air that we breathe, nor the need to find out the potential side effects it's having on insects, animals, humans, the water we consume, and what it's doing to our agriculture. I was the only one to vote against the property tax increase. I've spoken to this numerous times about the continuous rise of inflation and the possibility of heading into a recession. People are having to choose between paying bills, putting gas in their cars, or putting nutritious meals on the table for their families. Changing the policy when speaking as a delegation to not have you have to state your address in an open forum, creating a safe space so you can speak freely and openly without any kind of fear of retaliation. I did have success with colleagues supporting my motion requesting the federal government to advise when toxic or hazardous materials are transported by trains throughout the region of Durham. So if an event was to happen, our first responders would be better prepared for the safety of you and as community. These are just a few of the many ways I stand apart from the rest of my colleagues on council to put the safety and well-being of our community first. If my colleagues want to punish me or punish the constituents because I use critical thinking skills and I'm not following their narrative, it shows to their character, not to mine. As I said in the beginning, committees are formed for the leaders that don't want to make their hard decisions, and it gives them the opportunity not to take responsibility for those decisions. For this reason alone, I wish to step down from my appointment on the Safety and Wellbeing Advisory Committee. That being said, I will continue to fight for the well-being and safety of all of our community. I will continue to fight for the children to have the right to feel safe when using vulnerable spaces. I will continue to fight for the seniors so they can stay in their homes and remain independent. I will continue to fight for the mentally ill and homeless to get the help that they need. And I will continue to fight to help keep costs down for our families and our taxpayers. And I will continue with my commitment to bring forward your concerns and be your voice, no matter how controversial the topic may be. I will always stand by my belief that elected officials must remain neutral and that the duty of state neutrality be adhered to and upheld without favor and in respect to the law. Everyone deserves to enter neutral public spaces that are free from discrimination and in which true freedom to believe or not to believe can be enjoyed by everyone equally, given that everyone is valued equally. I want to thank all of you for your support that I've been getting and receiving from across Canada. And lastly, I want to thank all the veterans who served, who continue to serve, and those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms that we all have today. I'm Lisa Robinson, your Pickering Ward 1 City Councillor.